Welcome back to this crypto mastery course. You are at module 5 now, and जब आप ये finish कर लेंगे module 5, you'll be done with 50% of this course. So congratulations to you for getting halfway there. We're almost done. आज का जो module है, again, it's very, very important. In today's module, we'll be talking about how to identify trends on LTF and HTF, and then how you can create levels. Level to level trading क्या होती है और किस तरीके से level to level trading करके you can not only create your own signals but also confidently enter trades. So like I said, जब ये आप lectures और modules सुनेंगे तो आप साथ साथ अगर practice करते रहेंगे तो your confidence will increase, and at the same time your technical analysis skills will get better and better as the course moves along. Once again, request यही है कि आप जब ये course का module 5 देख रहे होंगे, if you have to take a break, take one right now. Go get your water and come back and watch all of this in one go. I will try and make this as precise as possible and as to the point as possible ताकि ज़्यादा लंबा ना हो. हम स्टार्ट करेंगे आइडेंटिफाई करने के कि ट्रेंड लाइंस क्या होती हैं, किस तरीके से हमें ट्रेंड्स का पता चलता है, एंड हाउ कैन वी यूज ट्रेंड लाइंस टू आवर ओन बेनिफिट along with using the all the other things that I've mentioned in the previous modules, which include RSI, support, resistance, market structure, and then obviously the psychology of trading. तो सबसे पहले हम ट्रेंड की बात करते हैं. Trend key, and then also channels that any coin follows, and once it breaks that channel, हमने पिछले मॉड्यूल में रीटेस्ट की बात की थी about how bearish and bullish retest happens. ये आज हम ट्रेंड लाइन के लेक्चर में भी कवर करेंगे, and I hope that you get to learn something about trend line. The thing that you have to remember is whether you're trading on LTF or whether you're trading on HTF, uh, the trend is your friend until it ends. So that means um, जब तक एक कॉइन जिस भी आप टाइम फ्रेम पे देख रहे हैं एक सर्टेन ट्रेंड फॉलो करता है, जब तक वो ट्रेंड फॉलो करता रहता है तब तक यू विल कीप बाइंग एंड सेलिंग अकॉर्डिंग टू दैट ट्रेंड. Once that trend changes or once that trend breaks, then you will be able to um, you know use a different trend. आप लोगों को कल मैंने एक चीज़ बताई थी जिसके अंदर हमने हॉरिजॉन्टल सपोर्ट एंड रेजिस्टेंस के बारे में बात की थी, लाइक दिस, इस तरीके से, और मैंने आपको एक इंडिकेटर भी बताया था which you can use. So we will use horizontal support as well by drawing horizontal support levels. I'm sure you guys have practiced. If you haven't practiced, please watch the previous lecture about support and resistance. उसके अंदर मैंने horizontal सपोर्ट एंड रेजिस्टेंस लेवल आपको बनाना सिखाए थे. सो हॉरिजॉन्टल एक तरीका है देखने का. जो दूसरा तरीका है वो है बाय फाइंडिंग डायगोनल एंड स्लोपिंग ट्रेंड लाइंस, और उसका जो बेस्ट तरीका है वट एवर टाइम फ्रेम दैट यू आर लुकिंग एट. सो करंटली वी आर लुकिंग एट बिटकॉइन ऑन द 4 hourly टाइम फ्रेम बिकॉज दैट्स व्हाट माय चार्ट वाज व्हेन आई लास्ट check the price. हम सबसे पहले we will zoom out, okay, and try to find a trend. Usually trend lines do something like this. वो अगर आप देखेंगे तो इस तरीके का ट्रेंड फॉलो कर रहा होगा जहाँ पे कोई भी कॉइन, जिस भी आप कॉइन को देख रहे हैं, it will either make higher highs, higher lows, but it will give respect to the trend line. So you see how it's the trend line that I've made is bouncing from this area, upward sloping trend line जो हमने बनाई है, and it keeps bouncing from this area. So that means the trend is intact because अभी तक हमें इधर से bounces मिल रहे हैं, and ऊपर हम इस तरीके से इसको बना सकते हैं कि ये आपका चैनल है जो इस वक्त फॉलो किया जा रहा है, where this is your resistance. Again the same rules apply as before कि जब तक ज़्यादा टच पॉइंट्स आप देखेंगे तो when you see more touch points to the downside as we are seeing over here on support, that means that the support is getting weaker and weaker and resistance is strong. तो इसको अभी फॉर एग्जांपल अगर हम 4 आवली का बिटकॉइन का चार्ट देखें right now, we only see horizontal support. We don't see any sloping or downward or upward sloping support or a trend line. We only see this for now right over here. ठीक है, और जो कि अभी आप देख सकते हैं कि टूट चुकी है on the 4 hour time frame. So it will most likely do a bearish retest like this, and all of this support area has now become resistance, and it will most likely get rejected and start coming back down. Okay, so horizontal तो हमने ढूंढ ली, वो मसला नहीं है, but we want to find a trend line which has been followed for a bigger period of time. So what we will do is हम zoom out करेंगे. We will keep zooming out, zooming out, zooming out until and unless we find a trend. Now I am starting to see a trend as I zoom out more. मुझे एक ट्रेंड नज़र आ रहा है. अगर आप देखिए इस तरफ, ये एक देखें अप ट्रेंड. अगर if I find an arrow over here, अगर हम एक एरो ढूंढ लें right here, so you see that we're following a certain trend, right? We're following a certain trend. Now, to identify the trend lines, what we will do is we will join trend lines and try to find a common ground जहाँ पे हमें bounces मिल रहे हैं, जहाँ पे हमें support से Bitcoin on the 4 hour time frame is bouncing. So what we will do is we see a point over here. We can go and try and make a trend line. Again, this is practice will make it perfect. So if we join this, we see that a trend is forming where it's gone up, gone down, gone up, gone back down, and it's being followed over here also, right? इस जगह तक भी हमें एक ट्रेंड नज़र आ रहा है. तो इसको हम आगे extend कर देंगे to see if that lines up, and it doesn't necessarily have to be a perfect trend line, but it will at least give you an idea. Okay, so we will continue to extend it to see where is the next support according to this trend line for Bitcoin. सही है. So now what we've done is we've 3 touch points आपको identify करने पड़ते हैं, at least 1 touch point, 2 touch point, 3 touch point. Now we see that currently Bitcoin has broken its horizontal support. जो अभी हमने ड्रॉ की थी उसको हम एक दफ़ा फिर से ड्रॉ करेंगे. ओके, सो वी सी हमने एक ट्रेंड लाइन बनाई है, ये वाली. ज़्यादा डाटा देख के अगेन DDE डाटा डिटरमिन्स एवरीथिंग. हॉरिजॉन्टल लाइन हम बनाएंगे. ये वाली जो सपोर्ट थी आपकी टूट चुकी है. नाउ वी विल सी वेदर और नॉट दिस एरिया जब टेस्ट होगा 4 hour टाइम फ्रेम पे, वेदर दिस होल्ड्स और नॉट. इफ़ इट डजंट होल्ड एंड इट स्टार्ट्स टू हिट इट्स हेड, मोस्ट लाइकली ये नीचे आएगा, और फिर आपको जो अगली सपोर्ट मिलेगी वो इस ट्रेंड लाइन के पास मिलेगी, विच इज़ अराउंड 27,200 एरिया फॉर BTC. हमने किस तरह आइडेंटिफाई किया? ऑब्वियसली बाय ड्राइंग ट्रेंड लाइंस. ये आप जितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतना आपके लिए ईजी हो जाएगा टू आइडेंटिफाई दीज ट्रेंड्स. एंड अगेन वी आर सीइंग दिस ऑन LTF, लोअर टाइम फ्रेम. अगर हम HTF पे देखेंगे तो वी माइट गेट क्लैरिटी एंड वी माइट फाइंड अनदर ट्रेंड. बेहतर यही होता है कि आप HTF से इस चीज़ को आइडेंटिफाई करें और इस चीज़ को ढूंढें. सही है. और देयर आर ऑलवेज मैक्रो ट्रेंड्स एंड माइक्रो ट्रेंड्स. फॉर एग्जांपल इफ़ आई जूम आउट, तो ये जो मैंने ट्रेंड लाइन ड्रॉ की है, दिस ट्रेंड लाइन हैज़ बीन रिस्पेक्टेड सिंस 2 जनवरी 2023, और आज है 24 जुलाई. सो अराउंड 6-7 मंथ्स के टाइम पीरियड को हमने ये मैक्रो रेंज बनाई है विच इज़ बीइंग रिस्पेक्टेड. Okay, but you will also see micro ranges जिनको आप इस तरीके से identify कर सकते हैं, and you can use those to trade as well. For example, I see a trend over here which is forming, which is called a falling wedge, इसको आप बोल सकते हैं. और इन चार्ट पैटर्न्स के बारे में मैं आपको एक रिसोर्स बता दूंगा which you can learn to see how to identify trends among within a trend. So if I go here and if I see this, तो हम ये देख सकते हैं कि हमने एक ट्रेंड आइडेंटिफाई किया है. Again, doesn't have to be perfect because I'm just explaining you these things so that you understand all of these things. ये जो wedges हैं, जो chart patterns हैं, I will explain these chart patterns to you in another lecture. Again, you will combine them and then you will see how you can trade these. So we see that on a smaller micro range, एक डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग चैनल बन रहा था बिटकॉइन का, जिसके टच पॉइंट्स 1 2 3 ये टच पॉइंट्स हैं, एंड अगेन इट कम्स बैक डाउन टू आवर ट्रेंड लाइन ऑल्सो, और ये रेजिस्टेंस थी, एंड इट फाइनली ब्रोक थ्रू रेजिस्टेंस. और जो हमने हॉरिजॉन्टल सपोर्ट बनाई हुई है, ये हॉरिजॉन्टल सपोर्ट बनाई है, it tested it a couple of times and it's now broken that support or broken that channel. So like I said, a trend is your friend until the end. So now we see whether this trend is our friend or not, because abhi to ye trend toot gaya. So we will see how Bitcoin acts from here and what happens next for BTC. Most likely जो मुझे लगता है ये एरिया अब आपका रेजिस्टेंस बन गया. ठीक है, Bitcoin will do something like this, go up and then come back down and potentially find support around this area. Okay, so this is how you identify trends within trends, and if you go on lower time frames, so you will again be able to identify these trends very very easily. So I'm going to now, sorry, try and identify another trend, and then we will move along to the next topic. So if I zoom out a little further right here, तो अगर हम पीछे जाएं, like this area, if I show you this area, I'm sure market structure wise अगर आप देखेंगे इसको, तो you can easily see that we're following a trend of higher highs and higher lows, and finally around this area the trend was broken. So इसको हम अब mark करने की कोशिश करते हैं with our trend line. So if we use this over here, we can see, इसके अंदर हम थोड़ा zoom करेंगे ताकि हम थोड़ी सी बेहतर तरीके से trend line बना सकें. So we will join this trend line like so. Okay, like so. It's better to zoom in so you get the exact trend. And again, sometimes fake outs do happen, but I'm trying to draw this trend line as perfectly as I can for you guys so that you guys understand what I'm saying. So this was the trend, right? ये एक ट्रेंड था, और अगर आप इस तरफ देखेंगे तो this trend was being respected from here. This is sort of the channel that it was falling right here. So this was your resistance, this was your support, and you can clearly see that support broke over here. Okay, it broke over here and it started making lower highs. इस जगह पे वो उसने वापस आके कोशिश की, लेकिन I'm pretty sure that there was some horizontal resistance where it got rejected from. And if I go over here and make a horizontal line right here, you guys can clearly see कि ये point जो है, again दो किस्म के ट्रेंड होते हैं, ये आपकी horizontal resistance थी जहाँ से ये reject हुआ. Okay, so once you start practicing these things, life becomes very very easy for you as a trader, and you're able to identify all these things very easily and to the point. So I hope that you guys understand how we make support and resistance areas. And again, if you don't know how to, you can always use this indicator which I mentioned to you before, which is called the auto support JAMC indicator. Okay, so this is how you identify trends, and I um, hope that this was helpful to you. I would want you to practice this a few times, and once you're done practicing it, उसके बाद फिर you know, you can start taking paper trades and so on. Okay, so now let's move on to the next topic that we are going to discuss, and that topic is doing level to level trading. So what I'll do is I'll delete all these lines now because we've uh, gone over this topic. So let me just quickly delete them, and we can head over to the level to level trading um, part of the module. So level to level trading basically आप levels बनाते हैं higher time frame से या जिस भी time frame पे आप trading करना चाहें, but it's better that you draw levels on HTF and then move on to LTF. So we're going to go on the 12 hourly time frame, right? And you will see what you will try to identify what जिस जगह पे अभी आप हैं, for example we're at 29,094, towards the left hand side of the coin that you're looking at, whatever coin that you're looking at, um, you will see the highest point of resistance. Okay, so we take an arrow and you will look towards the left hand side, and towards the left hand side we see that this area over here, right over here, is your highest point of resistance, because you want to find the closest resistance and draw levels like that. And then what you will do is you will try to find the bottom of the range. Bottom obviously होता है जहाँ जो lowest point होता है. So if I go over here, I can easily identify that this is the area that BTC on the 12 hourly time frame has gone to its lowest point. So we found a swing high and a swing low for right now. So what the next step will be, आप Fibonacci extension tools use करेंगे जो trading view के अंदर ही दी जाती हैं, Fib retracement tool. Okay, so you will click this, and जो highest point है obviously जो मैंने अभी आपको बताया, you will click that, and then you will go to the bottom of that area and click this also. So now we have identified the top of the range and the bottom of the range. What I will do is I will use my Fibonacci settings. If you want to use the same settings that I do for my fib levels, what you will do is you will take a picture of my fib level. So I will wait a minute or so you guys can start taking screenshots and then go. So right here, I'm sure you've taken the picture for now. उसके बाद इसकी भी ले लीजिए, and then visibility की भी. Okay. So I hope आपने जो fib retracement है उसके ले ली होंगी pictures. So now what we'll do is we'll mark the top of the range and the bottom of the range. आप के लिए आसान करने के लिए इसको what I would suggest is अगर कोई point resistance का है उसको red कर दीजिए. For example अभी 29,100 पे हैं हम, लेकिन resistance is 32,000 का area, तो we will mark this as red. So you will change the color of this to red right here, and then we will mark the bottom of the range. क्योंकि अभी bottom पे नहीं है Bitcoin, तो इसको हम कर देंगे blue, which will be our support. If you guys remember, I told you guys how to do this. So once you mark the top and the bottom of the range, what you will do next is find the midpoint. So midpoint आप ये देख सकते हैं 0.5 का होता है, 2387. That's the midpoint of this range that we're making. Again, range मैंने आपको explain किया था किस तरह करते हैं. So once you're doing the range, now you've marked top of the range, bottom of the range, and middle of the range. Okay, so now we will mark, if this is 0 and this is 100, we will mark 25 from each. So 0, 25, 50, 75, and 100. So we'll mark 75 and then 25. So we'll mark one line over here, which is the 25, and then 75 is also your support. So now we've marked all the levels on HTF, higher time frames, the macro picture. Okay, so जब आप ये सब कुछ कर लें तो you're gonna go ahead and delete these fib levels. ये आपने delete कर दिया. What you've done is you've marked the horizontal support or the horizontal levels according to fibs on HTF, okay, on higher time frame. Once you've done that, what you'll do next is you will go to lower time frame. So 12 hours से we're going to go to 4 hours. Okay, now 4 hours पे जब आप आए, what you'll do is you will use auto support JAMC. ये हमने on किया, and auto support JAMC के मुताबिक we will mark support and resistance area. So this is support, we will mark this as support blue, and then this is obviously resistance, we will mark that as red. And again, at any point if you're confused, please go back and re-watch it so there's no confusion. And you can always join our Discord as well, where you'll be able to ask me questions. So this will be red because this is resistance. और इसको मैं थोड़ा zoom करूँ तो I think that should be it for the 4 hourly time frame, right? So once we're done with the 4 hourly time frame, we'll go on to the 1 hourly time frame. Now that we're on the 1 hourly time frame, we're going to reset the chart, okay, and draw levels over here. We'll see that we see another resistance point right here, then another resistance point right here, then support over here. So you'll make that blue. So you will make that blue, okay, because it's support and it's bouncing from there. तो इस वजह से हम उसको ब्लू कर देंगे, और थोड़ा सा हम जूम आउट करेंगे और देखेंगे कि हमें और कोई एरिया नज़र आ रहा है कि नहीं आ रहा. आई थिंक बाकी हमने मार्क कर लिए एरियाज. ये एक एरिया और है जो सपोर्ट का नज़र आ रहा है, ये ब्लू कर दिया. ओके, सो विल रीसेट द चार्ट. Now since we've marked the levels, we will turn this off, right? We're going to turn this off and go back to HTF, which is the 12 hourly time frame, and try to identify a trend line that BTC might be following on the higher time frame. So if we zoom out all the way right here, so you can see that a trend, it's very similar to the one that we drew before, is being followed by Bitcoin right here. So if I go and make this, extend it all the way out, उसको हम अभी correct करते हैं trend को all the way out. So at this point what you've done is now you've identified 1, 2, थोड़ा सा इसको adjust करेंगे इधर ताकि हम ट्रेंड लाइन को ठीक से कर लें. So extend this a little bit right here, and then obviously right over here. So now what you've done is you've made a trend line that is being followed, and BTC will respect that trend line when it comes there. So now if I was to ask you for a trade, सबसे पहले आप levels mark करके आप trend line को देखेंगे कि confluence किस जगह पे. So if we see over here जहाँ पे Bitcoin currently है right around this area, इधर इस area में अगर इतनी ज़्यादा confluence नहीं है, जिस तरह इधर confluence और trading हुई है, अगर towards the left hand side confluence नहीं है उस range के अंदर, that means that support is weak. So what we'll do is we will go to the next confluence, or the next range and see where most of the trading has been done. So if we come around this area, we can clearly see that there's a lot of confluence because there has been a lot of trading done over here, right here. And then we also see this trend line support which has been respected for a long time. Okay, so what we'll do is, if we were to take a trade, we will wait for Bitcoin to maybe come around this area, because this is previous support. ये वाला जो सारा area आप देख सकते हैं confluence में मिल रही है. So around 28,600 is where we can see some support. So what you'll do is, as always, अगर आपके पास $100 है, आप $20 की एंट्री इधर लेंगे, ठीक है. उसके बाद जो आपकी नेक्स्ट सपोर्ट है वो अराउंड इस एरिया पे बन रही है. So you will take a bigger entry here because a trend line is also being respected. So $40 here, and if that trend line is broken, then obviously आप stop losses वो use करके you can get out in time. But this is basically how you make levels and trade levels. So for example, if you were to enter the trade around here, right around here 28,600, so BTC comes over here and starts to bounce, then your take profit area will be the resistance areas above. So TP1 will be this, TP2 will be this, and TP3 will be this. Take profit areas are these three areas. So ये आप जितना प्रैक्टिस करेंगे उतना आपके लिए बेहतर होगा, और ये आप पे डिपेंड करता है कि आप बेशक उसको LTF पे ट्रेड करें, बेशक उसको HTF पे ट्रेड करें, by making these levels and by watching how things start to happen. So this was it for module 5. I hope it was helpful. You're again free to go back and watch this lecture as many times as possible, so that your confusions are clear. And I will see you guys in module 6 with a new topic, which will be covering technical analysis. Until then, please take good care of yourself, and bye bye.